Have you ever noticed how sometimes it feels like the whole world has the power to affect you? One wrong word, an unexpected attitude, a bad day, and your peace disappears. But what if I told you this only happens because you're still playing the wrong game? No one tells you that true freedom doesn't lie in controlling everything around you, but in understanding what's really controlling you from within. You no longer have to be a prisoner of your emotions, of others' expectations, or of life's inevitable chaos. What I'm about to show you today might completely change the way you see yourself, and more importantly, the way you react to the world. So if this has already stirred something within you, hit like and join me on this journey, because from today onwards, no one and nothing will affect you in the same way. What if the key to true peace wasn't about changing the world out there, but about understanding and mastering what's going on inside you? Can you imagine living in such a way that nothing, not people, not situations, not unexpected crises, could take away your calm? Sounds impossible? It's not. And more importantly, it's not a privilege reserved for monks or spiritual gurus. It's within your reach. The problem is, you were taught wrong. They told you peace comes when you achieve success, receive approval, or avoid pain. But what if, in truth, peace has always been there inside you, just waiting to be recognized? What if the chaos you feel isn't the world's fault, but a reflection of what's going on in your mind? The truth is, you don't have peace. Or if you did once, it's been a long time. You try to pretend everything is fine, but deep down, you feel trapped in thoughts that won't stop, emotions that overwhelm you, and a hollow emptiness you can't even explain. And the worst part? You've started to believe that this is normal, that peace is a luxury reserved for a lucky few, while you're condemned to this endless inner war. But that's a lie. Inner peace doesn't mean living without problems, without challenges, or without conflict. It means learning to see the world differently. After all, think about it. Two people can go through the exact same situation, but one crumbles while the other stands firm. Why? Because it's not what happens that matters, but how you interpret it. Your mind works like a filter, shaped by years of beliefs, trauma, and unconscious patterns. As Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The point is, you've been carrying around a load of baggage that was never yours to begin with. Fears, automatic reactions, insecurities, all of that was placed there by other people. Your parents, your culture, the experiences that left their mark on you. And without even realizing it, you keep reacting in the same way, repeating the same mistakes. When fear, anger, or sadness take over, that's not the real you. It's the wounded child inside you, still in control. Now the question that truly matters, how long will you let that child run your life? Most people never stop to think about this. They live on autopilot, stuck in the same cycles. But you don't have to be like that. The peace you seek isn't outside of you. It never was. It's in learning to look within, to understand your mind, and to take the reins of your own destiny. Because in the end, the world is a reflection of what you carry inside, and the change you've been waiting for starts with you. Most people live trapped in a cycle of repeated mistakes, feeling the same pain over and over again. They believe life is a series of uncontrollable events, and as long as they think that way, they'll remain prisoners of this illusion. But here's the truth. Freedom isn't about controlling what happens, it's about how you respond to it. That's where unshakable peace begins. It doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or trying to silence your mind, but learning to observe them without letting them define you. You are not your thoughts. You are not that critical voice in your head. You are the one observing all of it, the awareness behind the noise. The problem is, you've forgotten that. As long as you continue identifying with every thought that passes through your mind, you'll remain hostage to chaos. The secret isn't to eliminate negative emotions, but to stop fighting them. The more you resist, the stronger they become. But when you accept them, they lose their grip on you. Think of your mind as a river. If you try to block the current, you'll exhaust yourself. But if you learn to flow with it, you'll realize you were never the water. You were always the observer on the bank. That is real power. Inner peace doesn't mean a perfect world. It means that nothing external has the power to throw you off balance. To reach that state, presence is essential. Be here, now, not in the past, dwelling on old wounds, nor in the future, anticipating fears that may never happen. This moment is all there is. Your mind will try to pull you away, with doubts, stories, and memories. But if you understand that the mind is just a tool and not who you are, you will find freedom. True freedom doesn't lie in changing what happens, but in changing how you interpret it. The Stoics already knew this. It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it. That's the difference between suffering and peace, between being a victim and taking charge. When you truly understand this, you realize that no one can take your calm away. Peace isn't somewhere else. It's within you, waiting to be recognized. Now comes the big question. Will you keep letting the world's noise control your inner state, or will you take charge? Here's what almost no one tells you. Peace isn't just a perception, it's power. Not power over others, but over yourself. And that's where most people fail. Everyone wants peace, but few are willing to work for it. The greatest enemy of your peace isn't just the flood of information or social media. It's internal distraction, the inability to be alone with yourself, the need to fill every second with stimulation because silence scares you. And why? Because in silence, the truth appears. The truth about who you really are, what you've been avoiding, the fears you still carry. Few are ready to face that, so they distract themselves with noise, work, social media, anything to stop the silence from revealing what's hidden. But as long as you keep running from yourself, you will never find peace. The choice is yours. Keep hiding, or finally face what needs to be faced. Peace is closer than you think. It's up to you to claim it. You know that uncomfortable silence most people try to avoid at all costs? Well, that's exactly the path to true peace. But don't be mistaken. Peace doesn't mean the absence of problems. It's the ability to remain calm, even when everything around you is in chaos. The problem is, we live in a world that does everything it can to keep us busy, distracted, and numbed. Between consumerism, the need for validation, and the obsession with always being busy, it becomes easy to fall into that trap and never look within. But here's a secret few people understand. Detachment is the key to unshakable peace. And it's not just about letting go of resentment or past pain. It's about releasing the need to control everything. People, circumstances, outcomes. Suffering is born from resisting reality. Want an example? Look around you. How many people are in a constant battle with life? They want things to be different. People to behave according to their expectations. The world to fit their desires. And when that doesn't happen, what comes next? Anger, frustration, sadness. The big truth is this: reality doesn't care what you want. So why fight against it? The secret lies in focusing on what's truly within your reach. Your perception, your reactions, your inner state. That's real power. Everything else is just noise. Now, letting go isn't easy. It requires a radical shift in how you see life. As long as you're attached to what's outside, other people's opinions, success, recognition, you'll remain a prisoner of circumstance. But if you learn to let go of that illusion of control and accept life as it is, something incredible happens. You become free. And this is where everything connects. Peace, detachment, perception. Life doesn't give you what you want. It reflects what you are. If there's chaos within you, that's what you'll see in the world. But if there's calm, nothing can shake you. And that calm doesn't come from better circumstances, more money, or other people's approval. It comes from how you choose to see and respond to what happens. So the real question isn't, how do I find peace? The right question is, are you ready to stop resisting life and live in harmony with it? Because when that happens, you'll realize something that's always been there. The peace you've been searching for was never out there. It's always been inside you. You just had to remove what was blocking the way. And remember, your peace isn't tested in calm waters. The real test comes during the storm. Anyone can feel calm when everything's going well. But true peace? That's the one you hold on to when everything around you is falling apart. And that's where many people fall short. Many believe peace comes when problems disappear, when relationships are stable, goals are achieved, and there's money in the bank. It sounds logical, doesn't it? But that's the great trap. Because if your peace depends on the world being in perfect order, then it will never truly be yours. It will always be something that can be taken away at any moment. That's where resilience comes in. But don't be mistaken. Being resilient isn't just about enduring hardship. It's about transforming pain into growth. It's about using the toughest moments as fuel to become stronger, wiser, and freer. Look at the people who have achieved that unshakable peace. None of them had an easy life. They faced challenges, losses, and deep pain. The difference? They used all of it to grow, not to fall apart. Peace doesn't come from running away from suffering. It arises when we change our relationship with it. Pain is inevitable. Suffering isn't. It all depends on how you interpret what happens. When something hurts you, you have two choices. Let it define you, or use it as a stepping stone to evolve. Most people stay trapped in pain, feeding resentment and victimhood. But those who truly understand life use every wound as a springboard for growth. Look at nature. A forest needs fire to regenerate. Coal needs pressure to become a diamond. And with you, it's no different. What hurts you today can strengthen you tomorrow if you're willing to see it that way. Ask yourself, how can I use this to grow? And when that mindset becomes part of who you are, everything changes. You stop fearing pain. You stop resisting what happens because you understand that no matter what comes your way, you can turn it into something meaningful. And do you know what else prevents you from reaching that unshakable peace? Attachment to your identity. From an early age, you were told who you are, your story, your traumas, your labels, and you believed it. You clung to that narrative because without it, who would you be? And that is the question that terrifies most people. That's why they repeat the same cycles, even when they know it hurts. The ego prefers what is familiar, even if it means suffering. But here is the truth. To attain true peace, you must be willing to leave that old identity behind. Not physically, but psychologically. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not your labels. You are so much more than that. And when you truly understand this, nothing can shake you. Because finally, your peace will be yours and no one else's. You know that story you keep telling yourself about who you are? Well, maybe it's time to let it go, to release it. Not because your story doesn't matter, but because it might be holding you back. The idea of reinventing yourself is frightening, I know. The ego despises uncertainty, but it is precisely within uncertainty that true freedom lies. When you stop clinging to a fixed identity, you stop reacting automatically, stop reliving the same fears, stop falling into the same patterns. You become flexible, adaptable, unshakable. And that, my friend, is the real revolution. It's not about having control over life, but about learning to flow with it without losing yourself. Life is not a war to be won, it's a river to be navigated. So the big question is, are you ready to let go of the story that holds you back? Are you willing to stop seeing pain as an enemy and start viewing it as a tool? Because that is the difference between a life of suffering and a life of peace. There is a trap that almost everyone falls into, the obsession with control. People believe that if they can master their thoughts, emotions, and reactions, they will find peace. They think that if they can control others, circumstances, the future, they will be safe. But here's the truth. The more you try to control, the more you suffer. Control is an illusion. Life doesn't follow scripts. People don't behave as we expect. Things don't always go our way. And the sooner you accept that, the closer you'll be to peace. Most people live in a constant state of tension, worried about the future, about what others think, about the fear of being misunderstood, always resisting, always trying to predict the unpredictable. And what do they gain from it? Exhaustion, because complete control simply doesn't exist. True peace doesn't come from trying to hold the reins of everything, but from trusting that, no matter what happens, you'll know how to handle it. That is the shift that changes everything. But there's an obstacle in the way, the fear of uncertainty. The mind lies to you. It tells you that if you plan enough, predict every possibility, and prepare for every scenario, you'll be safe. But the truth is, life will always surprise you. And the more you resist that, the more you will suffer. The key is not to eliminate uncertainty, but to learn how to feel comfortable within it. The Stoics already knew the problem isn't what happens, but how we interpret what happens. The fear of the unknown is born from the stories we tell ourselves. But what if, instead of fearing uncertainty, you saw it as the space where possibilities are born? Think of the best moments in your life. How many of them were meticulously planned? Hardly any, right? The greatest experiences, the deepest lessons, the most memorable moments, all happen in the unexpected. So the choice is yours. Will you keep trying to hold the reins of everything, or will you learn to flow with life? True peace doesn't come from control, but from trust in your own ability to adapt. But here's the thing, self-confidence doesn't appear out of nowhere. It starts with the way you speak to yourself. There's no point accepting uncertainty if your own mind is your enemy. If every mistake is seen as an attack on your worth, you'll never find peace. If every failure is a reason to punish yourself, you'll never be free. If every negative thought is accepted as absolute truth, you'll remain trapped. Your inner voice can be your greatest ally or your worst prison. And changing that is the key to changing everything. True peace is not the absence of external chaos, but internal harmony. It's not about controlling life. It's about being at peace with yourself. And that is the greatest strength you can have. So if there's one thing to take from this, it's this. Peace is not something you find. It's something you build day by day, thought by thought, choice by choice. The answers you're looking for aren't out there. They've always been within you. No one is going to save you. No guru, no book, no video. The power to find peace has always been yours. The difference between those who live in suffering and those who live in peace is not luck. It's not circumstance. It's what they do with what they have. It's how they interpret what happens to them. It's what they choose to believe about themselves. So the final question is, will you keep running from yourself, or will you finally reclaim the power that has always been yours? You know that feeling that something is always out of place? As if peace were a beautiful concept, yet somehow unreachable? The truth is, it's closer than it seems. But here's an important detail. You have to genuinely want it. Inner peace doesn't fall from the sky. It takes work, a willingness to look within, to face your own shadows, and to let go of everything that no longer makes sense. It sounds simple, but it isn't. Most people would rather cling to what they know, even if it means continuing to live in conflict. The comfort of chaos can be addictive, but if you're still here, reading this, it's because something within you has already sensed that there's a different path. You feel that true freedom isn't out there, it's within, and that changes everything. So here's the challenge. Continue on autopilot, letting the world dictate your emotions, or take control and begin to change, little by little. Each time you choose to let go rather than cling, to question rather than react, to observe rather than identify, you take a step towards the peace you've been seeking. And the best part? You don't have to wait for anything or anyone. You can start right now, this very moment, because peace isn't somewhere in the future. It's in the way you choose to live now. So what will you choose? You know that journey that feels lonely, yet deep down, connects us to something far greater. If you've made it this far, congratulations. Few people have the courage to look within and question what's really shaping their lives, and that already puts you ahead of most. I want to thank you for investing this time in yourself. You could be scrolling, distracting yourself with anything else, but you chose to stay. You chose to think. And that choice alone is already a huge step towards real transformation. Now, before you go, let me tell you a quick story. A master and his disciple were walking along a road when they came upon a river. The disciple, eager to cross, tried to fight against the current and was nearly swept away. The master, on the other hand, simply let go and allowed the water to guide him. When they reached the other side, the disciple asked, "Master, how did you do it?" And the master replied, "Peace is not found in the struggle, but in accepting the flow." And that's exactly what we're doing here. Learning to let go, to stop resisting, and to find true peace. If this video made you reflect, if any part of it resonated with something inside you, then I invite you to continue this journey. Subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications, because there's so much more waiting for you. Like this video, so it can reach more people who also need this message. And tell me in the comments, which part touched you the most? Now, pay close attention. There's something about inner peace that almost no one notices, and it might be exactly what's stopping you from truly setting yourself free. I promise, after watching the next video, you'll never see your emotions the same way again. So don't waste time. Click now, because I'll see you there in 5 seconds. 5. See you there.